It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I try to start just to win the crown. I can't stop with these fucking clowns. We're on top, they deserve it now. It's only worth it if you work for it.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the very first edition of the All Elite Dirst Sheet. I'm your host, Mike Dinero. First and foremost, I want to say it feels so good to be back here on the Circle of Debate Network. It's a long time coming. Who says you can't come back home, right? Now, many of you probably know me from the Wrestling Delorean podcast, was doing that for years, right? And the Wrestling Delorean podcast is very near and dear to my heart, but it was time to go back to my roots. When I started podcasting all the way back in 2019, it started with the very first episode of AEW. So I wanted to make a show that was true to why I started podcasting in the first place, which is why I created the All Elite Dirst Sheet. A little behind the scenes, All Elite Dirst Sheet was actually the first name of the podcast I actually came up with. In my notes, I went back and I said, hey, what was I originally going to call my podcast? And it was the All Elite Dirst Sheet. So I'm very excited. On this show, we're going to be talking about AEW's post shows right after Dynamite every single Wednesday, after the pay-per-views on Saturday or Sunday, whenever they are. We're going to be always talking about AEW news, notes, rumors, everything going on around the wrestling world. No bias. There's a lot of AEW shows out there where there's a lot of bias. There's a lot of hate. We're going to keep it real, raw, and authentic here on the All Elite Dirst Sheet. And I'm not here alone because I am here with my brother, my compadre. I'm here with the one and only TK.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? And
what's good?
Is going on, Dinero? Bro, first and foremost, welcome back. I love that line that you said. You know, who said that you can't come home? I mean, that's what a beautiful line that is, man. Welcome back, dude. Congrats on everything that you've done. Congrats on coming back. Well, first, what a name. I love the show. I love the logo. I love everything. I love you. I love everything about
I love you too, man. Thank you.
And I am so just honored to be a part of this, dude, and ride with you on Wednesday nights and do our thing and talk AEW. And like you said, you know, we're going to do it unbiased, unfiltered. There's a lot of hatred towards AEW out there, and we're just going to go out there and you know, we're going to speak how it is. We're going to do what we do, man. We're just going to talk wrestling, how we do it. And I'm pumped to be here, man. Thank you so much for letting me on with you, man. Excited.
No, most definitely, man. I'm very happy to have you on, and I'm very excited to go on this venture with you because, honestly, I see a lot of hate, right? And I'm sure this show's going to piss people off, but, hey, I can't lie. I mean, I've been an AEW fan, and I want to see them succeed. And I know you are, you know, an AEW fan. You want to see them succeed. There's a lot of biased shit out there, but you know what? We'll talk about some of the bias stuff going on with the news after we talk about the post show. But
Dinero, do you know what maybe the coolest part of the whole night is outside of you know what we're doing right now? And first of all, guys, you guys are awesome. Chat, we appreciate you guys so much. You guys, the fans of the Circle of Debate Network, the Debate Network, you guys are just so awesome, man. Like, this network is booming, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and being here. Smash that like button on the video, please, for us, and smash that subscribe button. We are well on our way to 2,000, so smash it and keep riding with us each and every week, each and every day. But Dinero, you know what AEW has been doing each and every week now for 8 years? Is putting on AEW Dynamite. I saw in the little thing, season 8, episode 7, and I was like, what? Like,
yeah, time is flying, bro. Time is flying. It's crazy. I think 8 years, and it probably means that 8 seasons, right? So yeah. This is 2026. I'm tired, right? So yeah, we're going on 7 years with AEW, which means I'm going on 7 years with the podcast because I started right at the start with it. Awesome. First and foremost, in the chat, I already see Justin. What is up, Redeemer? Great stream. You just went off with the AEW watch along. Awesome stream. I see Jordan Kirby in the chat. What is good? Yo, I'm excited. You want to get started?
Let's go, baby.
Let's get started. AEW Dynamite tonight took place from Sacramento, California. First and foremost, the venue's beautiful. Like, I know a lot of people give AEW shit about, oh, well, WWE's doing arenas and AEW's doing the theater view is awesome, dude. I grew up an ECW fan. I seen a lot of shows from the Hammerstein Ballroom. I've seen a lot of shows from the Grand Ballroom in the Manhattan Center. I've seen shows from these small little arenas that are more intimate. And I always felt when I'm there live, I have a much better experience at these smaller, more intimate arenas than I do at Madison Square Garden, at the Barclays Center, wherever else, right? I love that AEW does both, right? Pay-per-views, they still do the big arenas. You know, we just got announced that in New York, they're going to be doing Double or Nothing at a freaking stadium, the Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens. So they still could do both, but I love the fact that they still go back to these little theater venues. It feels awesome. It feels like ECW, if you ask me.
Oh, dude, I love it. When they did the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, I think they did like 3 or 4 shows. I didn't get to go. It was a real bad timing. I think it was during the summer, but man, it was cool. It's just a small, quaint environment, and wrestling's better that way sometimes, man. It's just, like you said, the Hammer Sign and the Aragon's very much similar. So yeah, I love the 3,000, 4,000 person settings. The whole crowd's into it too. You know, you're not just having people just filling seats, man. The whole crowd's into the show the whole time, and I thought the crowd was real good tonight.
Now, yeah, it was a hot crowd. It was a jam-packed crowd. It was a sellout. I saw on Twitter, I think it was like Wrestle Seats or Wrestle Ticks, whatever the account is. They always give like how many tickets are still on sale at the time of the show, and it says 0. So really cool to see AEW sell it out. Yeah, and I also liked how Dynamite started with the promos, really promoting the matches that we're going to see tonight. I know that's what they used to do on Collision, and they kind of like stepped away from that. So I'm really glad that they started doing it here on Dynamite because it feels old school. You know, when I see something like that, I think of like old school NWA, WCW, you know, when you give those promos to really promote the matches you're going to see tonight. Instead of just video packages, let's hear something from the wrestlers.
Oh, dude, it's so cool. It reminds me of the Clash of Champions, man. Like that was so vintage. We were talking during the pre-show fist fight, and I was like, man, I love the intros, dude. It's just, dude, it's so cool. And I do like how they kind of skip past Marina Shafir, too. They had all the women in the Fatal 4-Way, and they're like, I mean, I think it might have been cool if they like would have flashed to Marina and she would have just been standing there, just like mean mugging the camera. That was it for 5 seconds. Like maybe that would have had a little bit more significance to it, too. But no, I really liked it. And Swerve's line when he goes, I need this. I need this. I think like that really set up what happened later in the show. So that was cool too.
Yeah, most definitely. There's a lot of talks about AEW not having stories and AEW not having like things that play out throughout the episode. This was a clear indication that they're telling stories. They're not just having great matches, but they're telling stories in these matches. And speaking of great matches, we got to talk about that first match. Jon Moxley, Continental Champion Eliminator match. Jon Moxley versus Mark Davis. Dump Truck Davis. Hell of a matchup. Yo, Jon Moxley's been on fire lately. He's been having a great run with this Continental Champion.
Oh, dude. So good. And I'm so glad that you just preluded stories before this match. And I'll be real short-winded about it, but the match itself was great. Dump Truck Davis, phenomenal. It looked like he broke his hand during the match, dude. He punched, I think it was the barrier or the ring post. It was just
the ring post.
Yeah, it was just bloody. Oh, yeah, the ring post. Yeah, it was just bloody the whole match. So, like, he really sold it all match. Moxley worked it, too. So, and there was a couple moments throughout the show that I couldn't tell if people were actually hurt or if they were just selling, kayfabe injuries. So, it was good by Dump Truck. So, the match itself was fire. It went like 12, 13 minutes. Like they gave Davis some real nice time to shine. Love the ending. The transition to the Bulldog choke was awesome. But Jon Moxley, and I'm going to talk about this another segment later in the show, but you want to talk about a complete change? Like 18 months ago, 12 months ago, we're sitting there. Everyone in the world is like, fuck the Death Riders. Get the Death Riders off my screen. Fuck Jon Moxley. And even me, who's one of the biggest Jon Moxley fans in the world, I'm just like, dude, what the fuck is going on? His promos suck. They are repetitive. His matches suck. They are repetitive. Like, what is going on? Why is the title in the briefcase? It was all for a reason, bro. Like this Death Rider thing, what he did, he elevated AEW in crazy ways. He elevated Ospreay. He elevated Swerve. He elevated Samoa Joe again. He elevated Hangman, right? So he elevated these guys to the next level. And then he just transitioned himself and the Death Riders at the exact same time into exactly what Jon Moxley was. Like Jon Moxley, once again, is the best wrestler in the world, dude. In ring, on the stick, everything he is doing. What he did at Grand Slam with Wheeler, pushing him back to the ring, sitting there like kind of laughing while he was getting his haircut, but disappointed at the same time.
Yeah,
like that was kind of messed up, or not messed up, but like really funny. Like his whole transition, dude. And then even like the backstage promo with the Death Riders later, like I thought they would turn on Mox, but it looks like they're all kind of just circling that tweener face thing that Mox has been doing. Mox is on fire, bro. on freaking fire, dude. Grand Slam with Takeshita was fantastic, and this was so good, dude.
Yeah, no, most definitely. First, I want to give a shout out to not only Justin, but I see Dango in the chat. I see Dom in the chat. Ivan in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, y'all. I really appreciate it. Feels so good to be back and have the family here with me. I just want to say, as someone who stupidly in high school got mad and punched a pole and broke my knuckles and it was bleeding, I felt Mark Davis's pain because, that shit looked bad. And I don't think he bladed his knuckles. So that was a real broken, knuckle, or at least 3 knuckles, because I know when I punched the pole, it was like 3 knuckles. It was bleeding like fucking crazy. Shout out to Dylan in the chat too. World Elite now here on the Circle Debate Network. I can't wait for you guys to start, putting out great content here on the Debate Network. But yeah, no, I want to say Mark Davis has also been on fire. I wanted to give him his flowers too. It was a shame that Jake Doyle went down with injury, because I was really feeling that tag team with Jake and Mark. But if you look at like a year ago, and you even just like the shape that Mark Davis was in, and you look at him now, he really has grown into his own. I was really scared for Mark Davis because when he was gone with injury, Kyle Fletcher really took off. And it was like, what's going to happen with Davis when he comes back? And now, like, for a little bit, he was like floundering there. He was like lost in the shuffle. I really see like a lot of improvement with him. And I think he's going to be a big deal in AEW. I like that he got his body in shape. He's been putting on bangers. And when Doyle comes back, that's going to be a really good tag team to have in that division.
Dude, that tag team out of nowhere. Like Don Callis just brings this Jake something out of nowhere. Jake Doyle now, and meat meets meat. And I mean, the Archer and Cage tag team was fun, but this tag team was so much more fun, dude. And it's a real shame, like you said, that Doyle went down. I actually put in my notes that I would love to see Dump Truck go after the national title at some point. I feel like that's like the lower tier title, which would be a nice like stepping point for him to really take off on a singles run. I would love it. I thought him and Doyle just put the tag team titles on him and strap him to the moon. Like, sign me up for that. I don't know how long Doyle's going to be out, so I don't want to like stunt his momentum. But man, you're right. Dump Truck, hell yeah. And Chef, what is good? And M, what is good as well. Hope you guys have
what is good, Brian Cook. Yeah, Emily, thank you so much for being here with people. Also, I wanted to say that not only is this match a great matchup, right? But Moxley has really took to this like opening matchup, because the last couple of weeks he's been in the opening match, whether it was at Grand Slam against Takeshita. I believe he was in the opening match last week. He's really taken this spot and showing, and it's basically what AEW's always done since day one. They always have a great match in the beginning, a great match in the end, and in the middle they have like a lot of good segments. But I really think that Jon Moxley has taken this spot as the opener for Dynamite and really ran with it. So really cool to see.
Fantastic. Great call. I didn't realize that, but you're right, man. Looking back at it, I think it's the last 3 openers that he's been on, and I think he's 3-0 in these matches now. He's up in the show. Good shit.
I mean, he's been in enough main events in the last couple of years, so he could do some openings, right?
And that's what I think he's like. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna be a workhorse again. I'm gonna show these people. Just the arc of Jon Moxley is insane, dude. And I don't know if it's the most insane arc in AEW, and we're going to talk about this momentarily. I think we might even be going into this right now. Yeah, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah. All right. So FTR. Are we going into the FTR?
Yep.
All right. FTR comes out. They come out with Stokely, who, by the way, I don't know what it is, but I love Stokely. But his voice was like extra fucking annoying tonight. I don't know if it's because I'm still like recovering from the concussion, but I was like, yo, this shit is piercing. But anyway, we're getting the Bucks versus FTR again. And I know a lot of people are disappointed in that. The way I look at the Bucks and FTR, right? It reminds me a lot of the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express. You had 2 teams, they wrestled a million times, and they always had great chemistry with each other. I know that people are disappointed that they're going to the well again, but I'm not mad at it because they put on great matches every single time. And it's a different dynamic now. The last couple times we've seen this, we had the Bucks as the heels, FTR as the baby faces. Now it's the reverse. We're going to have different psychology in the ring because of that. But I really like this promo with, FTR was all right, but Stokely talking shit about the Bucks and how he hates the Bucks family, the Bucks kids running around and running to the production truck. And it was funny. I really enjoyed this. And I think it's going to be a good matchup. I'm not too mad at it. I know a lot of people are disappointed that they're going to the well again, but there's a different twist on it.
I'm not mad at it at all, dude. Like not one bit. I believe that they are 2-2 all time in heads up tag team title matches. I think that they've also both won a triple threat and a fatal 4-way where the tag team titles were involved. And they've they're like 1-2 with most tag title runs and most days held with tag team championships. So like I'm so with them doing it again. And as you mentioned, the different dynamic with FTR as the heels now and the Young Bucks, dude. And that's exactly where I wanted to go with this. What I really did enjoy. I enjoyed the promo, and this is a guy who is not a Young Bucks fan at all. Like I've not ever been a Young Bucks fan. I did think what they did over the past year was pretty entertaining. Them just looking like as schlums and just being the bums of the company and having to fight actually to get money and get that.
No pyro, no music.
Yeah. It was interesting, right? It was different. And at first it was like, what the fuck are they doing? But then it was like, let's go. I'm with it. But tonight, man, they showed up in their home state, dude. They had the tassels on again. They had the bright colors on again. And again, not a Young Bucks fan. So this isn't like some nostalgic ass thing for me. Like I'm feeling like nostalgic with it. It was just like, dude, good for them. Good for them to be able to go from no one wanted them, just like Moxley. No one wanted them involved with anything, right? And now, once again, and I mean, I'm just from my perspective, I love it, dude. I love what they're doing. Total character rejuvenation again. Props to them, and the match is going to be phenomenal, man. I wish they would. I don't know what kind of match that they could do. I'd love for them to throw some sort of stipulation on there, as I do believe it's their 5th meeting for the tag team title. So I think like that's maybe like a 2 out of 3 falls match or something in this match would be cool, something like that. But I'm excited, man, and really good shit by the Young Bucks and Jon Moxley. That's just showing veterans and why they are 3 of the best wrestlers of all time.
No, I definitely think so for sure. Interesting comment here from Justin. So he says you could switch their dynamics a million times. You keep the falling to the same 2 teams. You're going to push people away no matter how good the matches are. I understand that there is, there's disappointment with going back to the well with this. But like I said, it's been many years since we've seen this type of Young Bucks. And I think that I want to give it a chance before we just say, hey, I'm not with it because they're going to the well again. It's a different dynamic now. So let's just see how it goes. And I'm not mad at it. I really thought after the Young Bucks had their, EVP run and the Matthew and Nicholas, and the fans really didn't like them. They wanted them to like go away. I thought that was going to be really far-fetched to see them back as baby faces and then get cheers. But they made it work. The fans were very excited to see the Young Bucks. You saw when they snuck up behind FTR, there was a pop. A couple weeks ago when they returned to Dynamite, there was a pop. So I'm definitely excited to see what the Young Bucks could do now back as baby faces. Next, we see Brody King. Brody King, who had a backstage promo after his match with MJF at Grand Slam, Australia. He wants to get back in the mix. What do you think is next for Brody King after his loss to MJF?
Oh man, that's tough, dude. I love the little promo that he had. I love him and Bandito. I don't know that I want them to go back in the tag division though. Like Justin did say, we do need tag teams, and Bandito to me was the tag team of the year last year. So saying that I don't want them back in the tag team is kind of silly. But they're both so good that they both should be involved. I mean, how many singles titles have we got now? You got the world title, you got the international title, you got the continental championship, you got the national title, you got the international title. You got all these singles, or the TNT titles, sorry. So you got all these titles. I'd love to see Brody King go for one of those mid-card. I think Brody King taking the TNT championship off of Kyle Fletcher is definitely the route that I would go with him. I don't think that you can do that immediately as Fletcher just got the belt back. So maybe, you can't have him challenge for the world title again. So mid card, somewhere in the mid card, I think. And I would like to see Bandito do the same thing. I know he's the ROH world champion, but him and Okada for the international champion, him and Okada for the international title, I think that would slap, dude.
Yeah, most definitely. I think there's a lot of upside for both Bandito and Brody King. I know Bandito suffered from, I think, a broken thumb. So, like, he's been getting a lot of injuries lately. So, like, he might be out for a little bit. I wonder where Buddy Matthews fits into all this, because you got to think that he should be cleared to wrestle soon, right? He injured his knee last year. It's been a year. So I could imagine that he should probably be on his way back. And before he got injured, we did see him tagging with Brody King. I wonder if this is setting up for Buddy Matthews to come back, kind of like bitter that Brody King replaced him with Bandito. And are we going to get a feud between them? I don't even know if that's even on the cards, but I think I would like that.
Dude, that would bang, bro. And it would give Brody a couple month buffer from the world title to one of these mid-card titles that we were just talking about. I think that would be a perfect little feud for him for a couple of months.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's talk about the TBS title matchup. We have a 4-way here. It was announced beforehand. This was one of the key matches that I was looking forward to before going to the show. It was Willow putting her title on the line against Mina Shirakawa, Megan Bayne, and Marina Shafir. And I got to say, I thought that these women worked really hard. They put on a really good matchup. The crowd loves Mina. I think eventually they really got to run with Mina because that crowd really loves Mina. Something that I wrote down was that suplex that Megan Bayne took from the top rope was nasty. She landed right on her face. Disgusting. I was surprised to see Willow actually retain. I thought that they set up the 4-way to keep Willow strong and then give the title to somebody else. But good for Willow because Willow's over. Willow's over. She's been working hard. I think they said she had 3 or 4 title defenses in the last 5 days, which is insane. Her schedule's insane. She just came from wrestling in Australia and then she's already back in a 4-way right now. So I'm glad that she's still the TBS champion. I'm glad that she's still a double champion. And I don't know. I think they could keep the title on her a little longer.
Man, so going into the match, I was certain I would have bet a good chunk of money that Megan Bayne was walking out with that championship. I thought that they set it up like you said, fatal 4-way. Willow stays strong. She doesn't take the pin. Bayne pins Willow. Call it a day, dude. But Willow, props to Willow. 3 title defenses in 5 nights, cross countries. What a beast, dude. And good on Tony Khan for booking his women's champion like that, man, and really showing her off and showcasing her. I was looking forward to, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago in our chat, I said, it's just a matter of time that Tekla is the world champion, Megan Bayne is the TBS champion, and here we are. And I'm like, damn, 3 weeks and they're literally getting these belts. They deserve it, though. And as much as I love Stat and Willow, I really think that they need to go heel with both of them. Willow can't keep both of these belts. And it's not that she's not good enough to sit here and be a double champion and continue to do it. There's just so much meat to the bone on AEW's women roster right now that you need to showcase. And not showcase. I think they're doing a great job of showcasing a plethora of women. But I think that you just need to put the belt, elevate Megan Bayne a little bit more, put that single title on her and let her fly with it. But I did really enjoy in the match the brief interaction that we got between Bayne and Shafir on the outside. When Bayne put Shafir through the table, that was dope. But dude, 2 avalanche suplexes from the top rope tonight. The one to Bayne and then the one to Swerve were both disgusting, man. I was like, I cringed on both of them, dude.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, the one with Megan Bayne, it looked like she literally landed on her face, which was a sick bump. And she was like up a couple seconds later. Crazy. But yeah, like I said, congratulations to Willow, still your TBS champion. We got a recap of Grand Slam Australia, and I thought this was cool because you really built up to Grand Slam Australia. And I know in the past, AEW has been guilty for not showing recaps of their shows. I know one of the major complaints is if you miss a couple weeks of AEW, you're totally lost if you go to the current stuff. So it was cool to see the recap, and especially because a lot of the matches that we saw at a Grand Slam Australia is going to play out to Revolution, right? It's like setting the table to Revolution. So I thought that was awesome. Something else that I thought was awesome was that AEW actually, they paid their respects to Kerwin. What was it? Kerwin Syphilis. No disrespect. He's produced for WWE for many years, just passed away. RIP. I thought it was really cool that they showed respect. I don't want to make it a AEW versus WWE thing, but AEW is not scared to show respect, where WWE, I don't think, would do the same. So I thought that was a really cool touch.
Yeah, it was. Brian was pretty much in tears while he was talking about it. So, and I didn't hear about it. So this was my first hearing about it. So yeah, big ups to AEW for sure. Yeah,
most definitely. Yeah. And then from there, we get the big segment, MJF and Hangman Page. A lot of people are going to be talking about this. This is, I would say, very controversial because, yeah, we have it set up now. By the way, both guys had a hell of a promo, right? MJF sounded like Kendrick Lamar with I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk, right? Mm-hmm. And then I love the fact that Hangman was saying that he hates MJF because he sees himself in MJF. He needs to be in AEW. He needs that title just like MJF needs that title. And I'm very intrigued with what they're going to do because it was announced, even though MJF is going to think about it, right? It's pretty much going to be a foregone conclusion. We're going to get MJF versus Hangman Page, Texas Death Match at Revolution. And if Hangman Page loses, he gives his word to never wrestle for the AEW champion again. Not never wrestle as long as MJF is the champion, never wrestle for the AEW world champion again. I don't know, because I don't see MJF losing that title right now. He just got it back. Nor do I see Hangman Page never wrestling for that title again. So I do not know where they're going with this, honestly. I'm excited because it's intriguing, but I have no idea where they're going to go with that.
Dude, this shit gets me fucking titillated, man. Like, I thought this was just like MJF's just gonna beat Hangman. Like Hangman shit. Hangman even said in his promo, MJF, like you said, I hate the way you walk, talk, I hate everything, I hate the way you breathe. And Hangman's like, you're just a jealous little bitch. I beat the shit out of you 2 times last year. What the fuck do you mean you're gonna beat me? What do you mean? Yeah. I whooped your ass. I'm gonna whoop your ass again. And I'm like, hell yeah, Hanger, let's go. I thought they were going to go with a dog collar match. I thought they were going to go real aggressive. I guess the Texas, I'm not that I'm sick of it. It's Hangman's match, but I mean, at what point is like enough in the match? I mean, we've had this how many times now over the past year? So I guess that would be my only complaint. I guess we could have, I was hoping they went a little bit different with it. However, it's his match. It's his match. The stipulation's crazy, dude. The stipulation is crazy. I think Hangman's going to take the loss, and then we just don't. I mean, there's so many guys who need to compete for this world title that Hangman doesn't need to be in the world title picture for 3 to 4 years. I mean, we're looking at it. Ospreay is going to be the next world champion. He's going to beat MJF at All In. I'm sure like that's where we're going with it, and then we can just go down the line, right? But Hangman can always go heel, right, and just go back on his word in a couple of years. Right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like it's wrestling, right? Like. People retire, people come back, people put stipulations in. People like Cody should have went back on his stipulation. That's what ruined Cody in AEW. Cody,
I see Dom just said that. Is Hangman going to become the new Cody? And maybe.
And that's what ruined Cody in AEW, in my opinion. And yeah, it's Justin. Look how much that decision affected Cody's run in AEW. It could really hurt Hangman for as long as he's still in AEW, unless they want to turn him heel down the road. But no, otherwise, I do agree with that wholeheartedly. If Hangman can't challenge for the world title, that's goofy. I mean, there's 18 other championships in the company he can't challenge for, so that's fine, I guess. But
and it would elevate those titles because Hangman's a former 2-time world champion. Have him wrestle like the Continental Champion, to be honest, didn't care much for it. But Jon Moxley's elevating that title because Jon Moxley is a main eventer, right? I could see Hangman doing something like that, but I just can't see Hangman never going for that world championship again. That's crazy.
He even said it in his promo when you hit on it, where he goes, Max, I hate you because you remind me a lot of me. He says, we need love. We need affection. And where we get love and affection is from that world championship. We need that belt. We need that belt to be loyal to us. And if he can't go and get that, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, bro. And if he can't go and get that belt that he needs to be loyal to him, dude, that's a huge part. I mean, that's like the Stone Cold Steve Austin of AEW, right? Like, like that, like, and you can't, Stone Cold can't challenge for the world title. Oof, man.
I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued. And yeah, Dom, I agree with you. Hopefully Hangman's not in the box, the box that we saw on Raw. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be showing up at WrestleMania. I agree with you, Dom. I'll be throwing shit at my TV too. Next, we got the Death Riders. They call out the Don Callis family. And I like this because even though they're two, you would say heel factions, now the Death Riders are more like that tweener faction. I like that there's, you got the two main factions in AEW going against each other. AEW used to have like 1,000 factions. We've stepped away from that. Now we have like 2 major factions. And if you have 2 factions, of course they're going to like go against each other. So I like this, especially with what we saw from Moxley calling out Takeshita for a match at Revolution, no time limit. The match that they had at Grand Slam this past weekend was phenomenal. So I'm very excited to see them go at it again. And this time you take away the time limit, this match is going bang, bro.
Dude, so good. I thought when the match was over and Moxley was talking in the ref's ear and then the ref was talking to Takeshita, I was like, oh, we're going to get 5 more minutes or something. Then it was just going to end in a draw anyways. So, like, whatever. It is what it is. But Takeshita did whoop his ass after that match. So, of course, Mox is going to want his revenge. I can't wait. I love the promo itself by the Death Riders. I really like how Pac's stepping up. It seems like I always thought Claudio was the number 2 in the Death Riders, but it seems like Pac's really stepping up as that mouthpiece behind Moxley, which you need. Danny still doesn't really fit into me, but man, he's talking about it's family for life. We're actual. I'm like, I dig it. Like him and Wheeler need to go for the tag titles. That's what. I just need. Danny's floundering with the Death Riders, in my opinion, because Danny had this trajectory where it was up here, and now it's just kind of like floating down. But all right, I digress. But anyway, I
agree. I mean, he was wrestling for the TNT champion last year, and now he's just part of the faction. So yeah, I agree.
Chilling on steps and shit every week. So I mean, it is what it is. But
get that man his dance back.
Yeah, do something with Danny, right?
Man, his dance back.
But I think that we're going to get some sort of faction warfare at Revolution between his teams, and obviously Danny will be the Wheeler Pack, probably Claudio, and I'm with it, dude. Absolutely, I'm with it for sure.
Most definitely. Next matchup, we had Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii versus Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. You want to talk about new tag teams, right? I know Clark Connors signed. I don't know if there's an official word if Gabe Kidd signed. I'm going to assume he's signed because he's on AEW every week. But having Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors here in AEW, that is a tag team that I really would love to see go for the tag titles. Them versus FTR will fucking bang. But this matchup with Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii was a really good matchup. I really am excited, though, for Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. That's what I got coming out of this.
Dude, Gabe Kidd's is just a freak, man. And Tony Schiavone even just goes,
something wrong with him.
Yeah, man. And I was thinking that exact same thing when I was watching this. I was like, there is something fucked up with this guy, man. But in a good way, of course. He's built like a brick, dude. If you watch him exchange blows with Ishii in the ring, I mean, that was my favorite part of the match. Those two are kind of bringing their New Japan feud back up in the middle of the ring, which is cool. I always have liked Clark Connors, going back when he was a young lion with oh my god, why am I blanking on his name right now? Eddie Thorpe. When he was with young lion back with him, I always really liked him, and Alex Coughlin. So it's cool to see Clark Connors on national TV now. Obviously, it's Tekla's guy, so I'm sure he's like, I'm gonna fucking go join my girl and shit. So,
that's news to me. I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
He walked him out in Carl Fredericks. Thank you, Justin. You are always the dictionary. Thank you so much. Yes, Carl Fredericks. She walked him out in New Japan at one of his last shows. It was kind of cool. Or maybe it was the Wrestle Kingdom show. Regardless, I'm with you, man. I think the tag team's awesome. And I don't know if it looks like Drill and Maloney's staying in New Japan. I don't know if Finley's going to come over or not. But I do like how it says a war ready Gabe Kidd. So like they're giving him like a little personality as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I see it says Bakley said that he signed a dual contract with both New Japan and AEW. I didn't know that, Dango. So thanks for clarifying that.
Nice.
Cool. So next, we got the response of the Don Callis family. And this was just fucking, man, they're like beating up like, I don't even know, security guards, extras backstage. They're just destroying everybody. And then we got Josh Alexander, who accepts the challenge for the Death Riders. So we're going to get faction warfare, like we said. But then Don Callis accepts the challenge on behalf of Takeshita for Moxley at Revolution, which leads to Okada coming around talking shit about Takeshita. So we're still continuing that. And then we see Andrade saying he still got his eye on the title. And then Callis says that he would like to see the CMLL title with the Don Callis family. So this was one segment, but there was a whole lot with the segment. A lot of layers with the Don Callis family. And that's what happens when there's like 1,000 fucking people in your faction. But
I love the Callis family, dude. I love the diversity in the stable. It's kind of like, I'm not going to ever compare anything to the NWO, but it's kind of like you knew with the NWO who the top guys were, who the mid guys were, and who just the guys were there just to take the ass whippings for every week. Your Virgils like Lance Archer and Rocky Romero and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I thought it was awesome. I mean, my biggest takeaway was Josh Alexander needs a role, dude. Like he's a stud, man. And maybe throw him in a tag team. Maybe put put these Callis members in a trio or something and put the trios titles on them. But Josh Alexander needs to significantly do something more than what he's doing right now. It's kind of like the Daniel Garcia thing with the Death Riders. Like what is he doing? Josh Alexander. I liked him joining the Callis family. I thought that would really help him out. But
he was a stud in TNA. I thought he was going to come in and really set the world on fire.
Yeah, man. Like he could be a continental champion, man. He could be an international. Like he could be one of these 6 champions. And maybe we get there one day with him. But right now, I mean, he's been here as long as Jet Speed and these other guys, and he's the one who's kind of just like complacent. I know he's going to get the CML title shot on Collision. That's awesome. Very much so looking forward to that. And I'm sure he'll get a spot in that Revolution Warfare match that he's going to have against the Death Riders. But I need Josh Alexander to do more. Okada, I don't know what's going on with him right now. If Takeshita is challenging Moxley for the Continental Championship, what is Takeshita doing at Revolution? Just kind of sitting on the sidelines?
I mean, to be honest, he hasn't wrestled since World's End. So something tells me he might have some injury. He fought at Wrestle Kingdom, right? He fought Tanahashi. So that was the last matchup that he had. I don't remember him having a matchup on AEW like this year. So I don't know if he has like some lingering injuries. They're giving him like a lighter schedule for the time being. But yeah, Okada's a champion. I would like to see Okada defend that title. And yeah, I mean, first of all, Kayla's in the house. What up, Kayla?
Kayla!
I definitely want to see Okada do more. And I know Dom said he needs to see Okada versus Takeshita real bad. There was a lot more legs on that feud after they had their little continental matchup at World's End. So I am excited that they're still, having Okada throw shade at Takeshita because we're going to eventually get that again. They're alluding to that. I personally could see Okada screw Takeshita at Revolution. And then we get, what's the next one? Dynasty is the next pay-per-view?
Yeah.
I think it's Dynasty. So I could definitely see Dynasty Okada versus Takeshita for the international champion. But it's really puzzling why he hasn't wrestled yet this year.
Yeah, that's a real good call. I was wondering why they didn't go right to Okada and Takeshita, but Takesha's gonna end up getting. Oh, Justin thinks Takesha's beating Mox at Revolution. They go back to Okada and Takesha with both of them as champions. Interesting.
The unified champion. I know they unified those titles last year, so.
Do it again. No, I think Okada's going to cost Takeshita at Revolution, and Moxley retains. Moxley's on fire with that belt, dude. They can't pull that belt off him right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Speaking of factions, right? There's another faction that we got in the mix here. We got Hook, who says that Samoa Joe appointed him as the new boss of the Ops, and him and Shibata are on a leave. They're recruiting. You got Hook, who's recruiting domestically. Shibata is recruiting internationally. Who do you think comes in and joins the Ops now that we got a recruitment going on?
Fuck, dude. I don't know. Justin said he saw the name the Dogs for Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. I wouldn't have been opposed if Gabe Kidd's Shibata's, like, that's his mentor, right? Like, Shibata is Gabe Kidd's mentor, or is it Tanahashi, or is it both of them?
I think it was Shibata who was training them in the LA dojo.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that Shibata bringing Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors into the Ops would have been a fucking huge coup to that team. I mean, that's some serious muscle right there. And I guess
you got Joe when he comes back to that shit.
Right. I mean, that's all you need, right? Joe, Shibata, Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, and Hook. I think that's a pretty solid faction right there.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, Hook as the boss, like the best second generation wrestler, he's calling himself. It's funny because I like Hook a lot. I think he still needs to really grow into his own with this heel character. We haven't seen Hook much on the mic, but I think he's going to, grow with it. It's just that it might be a little too much for him too soon, having him talk and be the voice for the Ops right now.
Big Bill. I think Hook recruits Big Bill into the Ops. I don't know why. I got a weird feeling Big Bill.
That would be interesting. And I saw Dom earlier said that gone are the days of AEW having only one women's segment because we got another women's matchup on the show. We got the Brawling Birds versus Becca and friend of the COD network, Viva Van, which was really awesome to see Viva Van. Shout out to Viva Van. She's been on the COD before. We had interviews with her. She's awesome. So it was really cool to see her here. But the Brawling Birds, they get the victory here. What do you think about the Brawling Birds?
Well, I always like anything with Alex Windsor. And I didn't realize how much of an actual powerhouse she was with Jamie. Because, Jamie is just a beast. And I was like, damn, Windsor's equal beast to Jamie. I'm with the Brawling Birds. The name is goofy, but they'll do something. they'll do something with it, I guess. I like that they're, again, remember earlier, we're talking about the meat on the bone in the women's division, how there's so much of it. If neither one of those girls or women are going for a singles championship, why not put them together, put them in the tag division? I don't think that they're going to take the belts off of Willow and Harley, but the way AEW is doing things lately, heel versus heel, face versus face, I don't really think AEW cares too much about that face versus heel dynamic anymore.
Yeah.
So why not Brawling Birds versus Babes of Wrath sometime? I guess maybe you can mix the Sisters of Sin in there, or Penelope and Megan Bain, and I don't know, do a little mixture there. But no, dude, I'm with them, man. Two powerhouse women. They look good together too, man.
Yeah, for sure. And then, like we were saying, you add them to the tag team division. You just signed the Inspiration to the tag team division. They're really growing that tag team division. And I think it was needed because I mentioned this on Circle Debate. You can't just always throw two, singles wrestlers and throw them together as a tag team just to fill out a division because you introduce these titles. So bringing in established tag teams, making new tag teams, and really growing that division is going to make that division grow. And I'm with it. I thought that they had a good showing tonight. And and I would like to see more with the women's tag team. I think that they have potential to have a really good, strong women's tag team division.
Yeah, I guess my only complaint about it was, and I mean, absolutely no disrespect to Becca, but Becca hitting a double Cody cutter on them or double springboard cutter on the both of them at the same time and them semi-selling it just didn't have me feeling that. I'm like, no. They should have like stopped her, picked her up, and just fucking chucked her across the ring. But I guess if that's my only complaint, then it's not too much. But like, you know, two women's matches on the show. I think there's a couple backstage women's segments. We got the intros to start the show. Dude, I fucking love it, man. I love all the women's wrestling going on in that company right now.
Yeah, the next segment we had the return of Thunder Rosa, who's cleared to wrestle now. Statlander, you know, she's going to have a matchup, I believe, on Collision. You know, that was the thing. Like during the main event was so good. They started running down the Collision card, and I didn't pay attention at all because that main event was banging. But yeah, we got, you know, Thunder Rosa back, Statlander. That women's division is really, really stacked right now, and I really am excited to see where they go with it.
Love it. Yeah, Thunder Rosa, Julia Hart on Collision.
Yeah, well, at least one of us took notes. I appreciate that.
yeah, I got you. I wrote the Collision rundown down somewhere. I thought.
Awesome.
Thought I did. Oh yeah. We got Claudio and Josh Alexander for the CMLL title. That should be good. We got Thunder Rosa, Julia Hart, and then we got Jet Set Rodeo against the Demand for. Oh, well, I think this segment's going to set that up for the trios title.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Jet Set Rodeo because next we got Kevin Knight versus the Beast Mortos. The Beast Mortos needs to be on TV more often. Look, the guy is a fucking monster. You know, the fact that he can move the way he moves for his size is insane. I always was a fan of his, you know, TNA when he was it Black Taurus when he was with the Decay? Like I always was a fan of the Beast Mortos. So this matchup is really good. They're really pushing Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight is a phenomenal athlete and I think has a lot of upside. I think Kevin Knight is really going to come into his own in this company as a heel, though. I feel like he has that attitude. I think he could really take off as a heel eventually. Turn on Speedball down the line. We don't need it right now. Down the line, turn on Speedball and then have like a little feud between them. There's a lot of upside for both of these guys, but Kevin Knight continues to impress. And Beast Mortos, put him on TV more. Come on.
So I'm with you. So I'm not going to deep dive into what I do with my fantasy booking on the website or anything, but I did have Jet Speed break up. And you know what he joined? He joined the Hurt Syndicate, bro. It was him, Bobby, Shelton. I think you're onto something there, kid. I think you're onto something there. But the match was really good, man. This show AEW just breaks up the WCW feels for me, man. It just felt like a random ass cruiserweight match just put before the main event just to give you a quick filler, get you hyped really quick, some good energy. Kevin Knight, he can jump through the ceiling, man. Like
facts, yeah. I
think he might have the best hops in wrestling. The Hurricane Rana he did off the top rope, and I know he does it all the time, but every time I see it, it's so impressive, man. So impressive. And the Beast is great. We talk about the Don Callis family, man. Fuck LFI. Put the Beast in Don Callis family. Him, Josh Alexander, and Echicero for those trios championships or something like do something meaningful with Beast. You're right, because LFI squandering on ROH, we don't see them. Put Beast on TV more. That little corkscrew plancha he does through the second rope is
How does he do that? Dude, bro, he weighs like 30 pounds more than me. I could barely get up. Like,
bro, dude, so nasty, bro. Yeah, put him on TV more.
For sure. Yo, shout out to Steve-O in the chat. And, yo, Justin, bro. He said, I can't stop calling them horsecock. I'm never calling them horsecock. Never calling them horsecock. But they should run with that. You said that this matchup gave you WCW vibes. It's funny because being in California, this matchup gave me PWG vibes, right? And I really think that that's what makes AEW special. They could put on these random matches. Doesn't need the story for like a quick little 10-minute matchup on Dynamite, and it's just going to bang and something that you're going to just have fun watching.
Yeah.
Speaking of having fun watching, something that I haven't had fun watching for a long time was Ricochet in the Demand with his stupid right? Dude, I feel like they could do so much more. Ricochet is fine, right? Ricochet playing this cocky ass, that's fine. But they could do a lot more with the Gates of Agony, in my opinion. But yeah, we got a little segment there. It looks like Jack Perry's still going after them. We saw the knife in the door. I'm kind of done with that feud, though. To be honest, what else are we going to do with Jack Perry and the Demand? It's kind of past that point of, all right. And that's the unfortunate part, not to keep on cutting myself off, but it's the unfortunate part with Jack Perry. I feel like he never really gets a chance to go on to the next feud before making it stale with his last feud. It feels like his feuds always run on forever. And I'm starting to get that feeling with Ricochet and the Demand.
Interesting. You're right. They do, because they get pretty boring about halfway through it. They got to put the belt on Jack, right? Pay it off with Jack winning this belt.
I would think so.
Right? Ricochet doesn't need this belt. I feel like the belt's even below Ricochet. I was confused when Ricochet won it in the first place. I guess it's the first one. Put it on someone significant. Not that the belt's above Jack, or because Jack's on the same level as Ricochet, but I think you got to pay it off with Jack. And dude, do something with the Gates of Agony. Toa Leona spitting on the stick tonight, man. Listen, if the big boy can work the way he works and he can spit on the stick like that, Justin was saying earlier, tag division, stale teams, tag division. There's no reason the Gates of Agony can't ever run with those tag titles, man. They are two bruteful, fucking dominating forces. The matches that they put on with the Hurt Syndicate were very, very good, man. And they held their own of those. So you're right. Do something with those boys.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, before the main event, we got a video package for the Billy Goat himself, Will Ospreay, going to be coming back soon. I'm excited for this, especially like we talked about earlier, MJF. If MJF and Hangman Page goes the route that we were talking, if Hangman Page loses this matchup and can't wrestle for the world title, we're going to need another top guy to really step in that main event scene. And I think 1,000% leading into All in London. Like you said, I think that's going to be Will Ospreay. I'm very excited to see him back because right now AEW is hot. And then you add Will Ospreay to that roster. Dude, it's going to be fire.
You said it. Everything that you just said. Repeat it. That's it, man. He's going to win that title at All In. This roster is so cooking right now, man. What do you just add him back? Just place him anywhere. What are you going to do, though? You got to think about this. Who took them out? Who took him out? The
Death Riders. Yeah.
So you got to think him and Moxley first, but I don't know. It's real awkward with how Moxley is right now. So I don't know. We got a lot of time before we have to go into that, but I feel like he's got to go after the Death Riders just because they fucking took him out, right? So.
And they showed it in the video package. It's not like they want you to forget that. They showed it in the video package, the attack on his neck with the chair. So they want you to remember that.
I forgot it until I saw it in the segment. And that's why I was like, maybe he doesn't go right after MJF. Maybe he's got to go after the Death Riders first. But if he comes back, when is his timetable to come back? Is he coming back in April, May, or is he not coming back till June, July?
Dude, I have no clue. So not saying that I really take whatever Meltzer says serious, but Meltzer was saying that it's going to be far down the line. But why would you start showing these segments now? Like Justin said, by them constantly showing these Ospreay vignettes, it makes you think that he's going to be back soon. You wouldn't be showing this 8-9 months out down the line. You would show this a month. I would not be surprised if we see him at Revolution.
It'd be awesome. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Why not? Let's go stack it up right now.
For sure. And now it's time, bro. We got to talk about this main event. Fucking banger. Pay-per-view main event quality live on national TV. This was a hell of a matchup. Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland. First time ever. They didn't even touch in the indies. First time ever. Dude, amazing, amazing matchup. I know we're going to talk a lot about what happened after the matchup, but these two guys put on a hell of a match. Everything looked stiff. Everything looked crazy. And the story that they told throughout the matchup, the fact that Swerve could not get it done until he started to show the old, heel Swerve, get a little dirty in there, pulling Aubrey in front of the V-trigger, which was nasty for them to have that. And it looked like she took that flush. I really enjoyed this matchup. I didn't think we were going to get a clear winner. I thought, hey, this is the first time it's live on TV. We're probably going to get a rematch at Revolution. But for the fact that it went the way it went, I was a huge fan of this match.
Yeah, dude, I was shocked. So the match started, it was a bit slow for me. And we had just had that Kevin Knight and Mortos match, and it was getting late. And I'm like, that was the only reason I was a little apprehensive with the match at first, because I'm like, dude, the clock is ticking. Where's the match? Is this why he did it? Is he going to put on a longer match on the pay-per-view? But no, man, he let them cook, dude. We got we got going, and then we got a commercial. So I said, oh, okay, well, maybe we got a little bit of time with this match. And thank God, because it absolutely banged, dude. The V-trigger to Aubrey was awesome. Swerve had this like look on his face that he wasn't trying to completely give away that he did it on purpose. But like Tony Schiavone's like, oh, he was just showing her his arm. And I'm like,
yeah, it was inverted. It was inverted. Like, come on.
No, bullshit, dude. And you saw that, like you said, he had to go to the heel Swerve. What did he say to start the night? I need this. I need this. When he put Kenny Omega through, whatever, we'll talk about that. But he said, I did this. So like he felt disrespected by Kenny Omega. The match was awesome, dude. Like I'm just out here just like fucking V-trigger pulls him into Aubrey, dude. We go for the one-wing angel reversal house call, dude. Swerve stomp on the apron. Swerve takes the pad off, slingshots his neck into the exposed turnbuckle, dude. And then we get a Swerve stomp. I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, this match is over. But no, Kenny kicks out of that, dude. Kenny mounts some crazy offense, dude. Goes for the one-winged angel, dude. Swerve stomp, house call, over. Just, bro. That last like 3-minute sequence was so hot, dude. Like just phenomenal. I thought it was over on that second Swerve stop after the Swerve stop on the apron and the throw to the turnbuckle. Phenomenal.
Nasty.
Phenomenal. Yeah. And what happened afterwards? Even better.
For sure. I'm glad you rolled that down because I just wrote holy shit because this was a hell of a matchup. I see what's called. Ivan said that this was one of the best Dynamite match of the night for sure. Justin saying a spectacular main event. Really, man, I can't say enough. Like this is what makes AEW different from WWE. This is what makes AEW different from things like TNA, promotions like TNA, where people are, saying, oh, TNA has the, capabilities of being the number 2. Not when AEW is putting out matches like this on a weekly basis. It doesn't get old. It doesn't get stale. They're putting out bangers every single week for the last 7 years. This was insane. But what happened after the matchup was even more insane. Yes. It wasn't just that Swerve won, right? Swerve got the victory. He could have walked away. He walked away not the champion, but he walked away the winner. He beats Kenny Omega, but that was not enough. He starts attacking Kenny Omega, beats him down with the chain, hangs him over the rope with the chain, and that's still not enough. Then he pulls the steel steps, hits a vertebreaker onto Kenny Omega from the steel steps through the announce table. And the whole time he's screaming, I needed this. Just like he said in the beginning of the show, like you said, having that play out throughout the show and then ending it the same way they started it. This is why when people say AEW does not have stories, this is exactly the shit that I point them to. Just because the stories are not the type of stories that you see elsewhere on other promotions, this is chef kiss, if you ask me. And now with heel Swerve, this was needed because Swerve came back. It was he came back at full gear, had the 4-way at World's End, and ever since then he's just having these matches. He wins some, he loses some. He lost to Andrade, so I really feel like you needed to do something with Swerve. Having him go heel was a great call.
Dude, it was awesome. I had no idea going into the match it was going to happen. I just thought it was the two top guys just going to go at it. They went at it. He cheated to win. I loved it. And he just looks like, dude, he's so big now, though. You know what I mean? Like, he's like a big fucking dude. He's not little anymore. So this heel turn now, this aggression he's going to have is a bigger body. He's significantly bigger now than he was 2 years ago when he was a heel. Significantly. Yeah. And as a bigger guy being a heel, oh man, he's going to cook. I'm curious to see where this goes with MJF. Because again, as I said earlier, right now AEW is not so much keen. They don't care if it's face versus face. They don't care if it's heel versus heel. So do we get Swerve versus MJF? Isn't Dynasty the pay-per-view that Swerve always gets his one-on-one title matches? Isn't that when he got, or is that?
Yeah, he beat Joe 2024, and then he had Moxley 2025, I believe. So
maybe we get Swerve MJF. I think Swerve beats whoever at Revolution. Maybe it's a Kenny rematch, or maybe it's Andrade for beating him cheaply, or however it ends up. Or maybe we get like a Brody Andrade Swerve #1 contenders match or some shit at Revolution, and then Swerve goes to Dynasty and challenges MJF. Probably loses. Maybe Kenny costs him that match, or there's something that goes down there. But I like where Swerve's going with this dude. And Will Ospreay face once he takes that belt against badass fucking Swerve, dude.
Sign me up. Sign me up. Yeah, man. So before we get into, I got a couple of news stories about AEW I want to talk about, but first, the chat is blowing up. Dom says, whoever says that AEW is not telling stories is bullshit, which I agree. Dom, I totally agree, bro. You got Ivan here. He's saying that Tony Khan has actually been setting up stories, and I'm glad he's doing it the right, especially no pay-per-views in the beginning of the year. I really like that they have this time period, right, from January to March to really build the stories before you just go right into the next pay-per-view. It's been really, really amazing. I really got to say, this was a great Dynamite, strong Dynamite, great action top to bottom, great stories top to bottom. What are you giving it out of 5?
Yeah, bro, real solid show. I'm gonna give it an 8. Oh, out of 5, I'll give it a 4.
It could be 8. You want 8 out of 5? It was,
I'll
it was over the top.
I'll give it a 4.25 out of 5. Real solid score. I don't have many complaints about it. The main event wowed me. Outside of the main event, there wasn't much that wowed me, but I was thoroughly entertained throughout the show. So a solid B plus. Give it, was it 4.5? Isn't it? Yeah, solid B plus, 4.25, definitely. Yeah,
for sure. I agree. I'm going to go with 4.5. It was a great show, top to bottom. Before the main event, like you said, was a very solid show. And before the main event, I'm like, wow, this is a really solid Dynamite. And then the main event just took it over the top for me. It was like, wow, that was a hell of a main event with a hell of an angle. And something that AEW doesn't do often is leave it with a cliffhanger. They ended the show with the cliffhanger of Swerve going heel. Amazing show. 4.5 out of 5. Hell yeah, man. So we got to talk about some news stories.
First show, bro. Hell of a first show, dude.
For sure. For sure. I'm lucky it was this one, right? If it was last week was good, but it was a little on the downside. So if you told me that last week was the first show, it would have been all right. But God, this show is how you start the All Elite Dirt Sheet.
Yeah.
Well, here on the All Elite Dirt Sheet, we're not just talking about Dynamite and the poster. We're going to be talking about the news. First, it was announced by AEW, May 24th, coming to New York for Double or Nothing. First time Double or Nothing's in New York, Queens, Louis Armstrong Stadium, the same complex as where they ran Grand Slam New York with, what was it, Arthur Ashe Stadium, which I should not forget the name. I've been to like all of them. So Louis Armstrong Stadium is a really cool stadium. It's a lot smaller and it's open air and it's all like ramped seating and there's like not a bad seat in the venue. I think it fits around maybe like 14,000. It's going to be a really cool venue to hold a pay-per-view and I'm excited to go. I think it's going to be a cool pay-per-view to see. They usually do for Dynamite or for Double or Nothing. They usually do the what's it called? The Anarchy in the Arena. To see Anarchy in the Arena in that stadium is going to be insane. But I thought it was really cool that they're coming to New York for that show.
So you think that's May, right? The end of May. So you think it's still going to be the Callis family and the Death Riders by then?
I hope not. I hope there's something else by then. As cool as it is now, like to carry that to May is a little.
I'm just trying to think. I'm like, man, that's like 90 days. That's a long time to carry this feud, man. But no, that's awesome. That stadium's really cool. I remember the Grand Slam. Look, my buddy actually when he was it was back when CM Punk was still with the company, right?
Yeah.
When it was the Arthur, yeah, because I think he was like in the first row, like sitting kitty corner. Yeah, pretty cool. He said the stadium was awesome. So I'm really excited for you, man. It's I like that they do these new venues at these different spots for these pay-per-views, man. It's dope.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then also, before we get out of here, I want to talk about the story going around with Chris Jericho. You know, on Monday Night Raw, we're not going to talk much about WWE, but because, you know, this has to do with AEW, on Monday Night Raw, there was a box that appeared with a date that is set to be for the Elimination Chamber. Everyone thinks that this is going to be how Chris Jericho returns to the company. But then it was reported by Fightful that Chris Jericho's still under contract with AEW. There's word that he got time tacked on to the end of his contract because of time off or injuries. So there's a lot of people saying that it's not Jericho. What do you think the status of Jericho is? And if Jericho is still in the contract, do you put him back on TV?
You know, it's funny. I don't know. I really just don't know his contracts. I would have thought, but he hasn't been on TV in a real long time. I thought that the end of the story with Big Bill and Brian Keith was it. I thought the bad apple, the learning tree was over and Jericho was done in AEW. It just really felt like that was his hoorah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's tough for me to believe anything that we see on the internet unless it's coming from Fightful. And I don't mean to like toot SRS's horn, but they seem to provide the best information out there. And unfortunately, the story is coming from Fightful Select. So it's like, fuck, maybe it's true. And like Dom said, who gives a fuck about Chris Jericho? However, AEW Chris Jericho has been very lackluster for about 3 or 4 years now. One last run WWE Chris Jericho would be pretty exciting because I just don't know. Yeah, right. And then a Hall of Fame run and end his career, right? Like it. I don't know what more Chris Jericho does in wrestling, period. Like, it's not like I want to go watch him put on 52 matches in WWE. It's like, go do 3 matches, have Gunther retire you, and go in the Hall of Fame, right? Like, isn't that the route for him to go? Yeah. And I think that's cool. And I think for him, I think he's had a 30 fucking year career, a respectful top 20 career all time. Let him go end it in WWE and get that Hall of Fame now. Because what else is he going to do in AEW? Like, what, like, let's be real. Who is he going to, and like Dom said, who would give a fuck? Like, he can't recreate himself. I don't think there's one thing that he could do, and he is the master of recreating himself. But I don't know how he could recreate himself one more time to make anybody care in AEW. Do you?
Nah, I totally agree. I feel like if the contract, the time that they tacked onto the contract, if it's possible that it goes beyond WrestleMania season, I could see them holding him until after that so he doesn't show up at Mania. But I just don't see it being such a big deal. I mean, if he returns to WWE, it's not that big of a deal for AEW. So I don't know if he's out of his contract, then just let him go. I mean, I understand why they do it. I understand like adding time after, but I mean, if you're not going to put him on TV, why keep him on the contract if you're not going to use him? He's not going to make such an impact in WWE where it's like, oh, wow, they got Jericho. This really, hurts AEW. It's not hurting them now. He hasn't been on TV for the last year. So just let him go.
And also, it's not like a Ray Phoenix situation where he was out there dogging the company, trying to get out of it. Chris Jericho's been nothing but respectful about AEW. And Tony Khan, I mean, these guys do nothing but talk great about Tony Khan. You rarely hear negative words spoke about Tony Khan. So I can't see him, especially with someone like Chris Jericho, being like, Chris, you sat at home for 6 months. I'm locking you up for 6 months. I'm not letting you go do your retirement run. Like, dude,
go fuck yourself, Chris.
yeah. It's just not seem like Tony Khan's demeanor to me, to be honest with you. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to believe because it came from SRS, and if it comes from SRS, it's usually pretty valid. So I don't know, man. I hope it's not true. I really do. I hope it's not true.
Yeah, if you ask me, I would just let him go. But what a first show, man. I really appreciate you being here. Let the people know what you got going on.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. This was awesome, dude. Thank you for letting me be a part of this with you. I look forward to being here on Wednesday nights with you. This was a blast. We had a great show. I kind of want to switch my grade to a 4.5 now that I'm thinking about it. Like, it was like that good of a show.
We're still on the air if you want to.
Yeah. 4.5. I'm a 4.5 this with you, dude. It was a hell of a show for sure, dude. I had a blast, man. But I mean, you can find me. I'll be here Wednesday nights with you, doing our thing. I cannot wait for this adventure, man. I had such a good time, and just beginning to like chill, take notes for the show, like really like dive into it. That was really cool as well. So I had a blast doing it. But I do the Tim King show here on the Debate Network, probably every other weekish. It's just really kind of a slow season for sports. Once football pops, I'm going to try to do it a little bit more. Just an hour talking sports wrestling. Had Bakley on a couple weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. And then check out the website, gamebreakersports.com. I do those fantasy bookings that I talk about. I got a couple of different promotions that I fantasy book, which I find to be really cool. I think you guys would really, really enjoy it. I got everything that we do on the Debate Network up on the website too, as well as like daily sports picks from Bakley and Dylan and all that other good stuff. But yeah, man, gamebreakersports.com right there. You can find everything we do right here on the Debate Network on there. But other than that, man, like I always say, Chet, you guys are always the real MVPs. Appreciate you guys so very much. And Dinero, bro, cannot wait to do this weekly with you, dude. Thanks, homie.
I'm so excited, bro. I'm so excited, and I appreciate you being here, homie. Catch us every week here on the Circle of Debate every Wednesday. AEW post show. When they have the pay-per-views, we're going to be there too. But AEW post show every single Wednesday. All Elite Dirt Sheet. Follow us on Instagram at AEW Podcast. Peace out, y'all. See you next week. Thank you. Well, first, thank you so much for everybody in the chat. You guys are blowing it up. I love you all. Thank you for everybody for showing out on the first episode. And yeah, we'll catch you here next week with another episode of the All Elite Dirt Sheet. Peace out.
Will
over and over
make
over and over
history
over and over and over and over
Like a